introduce you now. Okay, we're delighted to be joined by Yossi Landau from Zaka. Yossi, can you hear me?
I could, yes.
Well, it's a tremendous honor and privilege for us to have in London to be able to have Yossi with us today and to learn a bit about Zaka and the extraordinary work that they do, and in particular, what they have been doing since October the 7th. So firstly, Yossi, Bruchim Habayim, welcome to you. Can you tell us where you are, where you're speaking from?
Right now, I'm in Kibbutz Be'eri. This is one of the kibbutz that was attacked, and I would say the most. It's the hardest attack on all the kibbutzim was Kibbutz Be'eri. 127 people were killed, murdered, butchered in this place, and a lot of them were captured. And this is right by the border of Gaza.
Okay. It's we can see a bit of it just behind you. It's absolutely shocking just to see the destruction. But yeah, we can see it. We can see it. It's unbelievable, incomprehensible. Yossi, so perhaps just by way of introduction, if you can share with us very briefly, for some people in London may not know, they've heard of Hatzalah, they may not know about Zaka because we don't have Zaka in London. Can you share with us a bit about Zaka and your role and how long you've been involved with Zaka?
Okay, I'm involved with Zaka. I'm one of the founders, 33 years.
Wow.
Zaka was founded in 1989 when a bus was rolled down by a terrorist on the way from Tel Aviv to Yerushalayim when 17 people were killed, 40 people were injured, and there was difficulties for identifying bodies. The government didn't do it. I would say was the army that they handled with bodies, unidentified bodies, or it's disaster bodies, but they did it for soldiers and not for civilians.
Right.
So then Zaka was founded. First of all, it's called Chesed Shalemes, and then we changed it to the word of Zaka. Zaka is the definition for Zihui Korbanot Ason. It's identifying every unnatural death. Also, it has another definition of Zekiruv Achim.
Zekiruv Achim.
To bring the brothers together.
Uh-huh.
So, and Zaka is doing it not only in Israel, but we are part in the whole world. Wherever there is a Jew or a Yid, a Jew or any other disaster, if it's a natural disaster, if it's a natural disaster, terror attack, we will be there, and we will try to respect the remains. And this is our mission. That's what we're doing, and we're collecting the blood for sure. We're doing what it says in the Halacha, Ki Adam hu nefesh, and we have to. This is the dignity. This is the kavod, kvod amet, and not only kvod ames, also kvod achaim. It's also for the living people, for the families, and also Zaka is another definition that's called Zekiruv Achim, bringing our brothers together. And this is something that we saw now more than any other time that we saw this. When Zaka, the Kiddush Hashem that Zaka did, because we came in, we had no idea what we're coming into in October 7. We never had that. We never learned that. We were never taught for such a disaster. But we came in with only for one purpose, to give kavod ames, and that made the difference between all other government officials or something like that, or the army or the police. We came in as a volunteer group and give the kavod ames, and to respect whoever has to be respected.
So thank you, Yossi. So just carrying on that, can you tell us, October the 7th, of course, is a date that none of us will ever forget. Where were you on October the 7th, and how did you and your team respond?
Okay, I will not call it October the 7th. I will call it Simchas Torah.
Yeah.
That's for me, it's a better name, Simchas Torah. And Shabbos, Shabbat, Simchas Torah, I was home with my kids and grandchildren uh, in Ashdod. I live in Ashdod. I'm the commander of the Zaka of the South region from Israel, Zaka, and I was in bed like all others, 6:30 in the morning, when the sirens went off. The first thing, um, I ran downstairs. That's my job to see, and we used to it. 25 years we live in this thing with missiles, and we see the Iron Dome in the back of my house hitting the missiles. But this was something else. This was something different, because usually we know it's one siren, 2 3 missiles. Over here you're talking about 15 20 missiles coming up, and then my radio gets on and I get on the officials from the army, from the police, and by knowing that this was only basic a cover up, the missiles was a cover up for an invasion of terrorists to the south of Israel. And there's a big danger, there's a big chaos all over. There's a big chaos all over. And and I should get ready with a team, with teams, and was chaos. Nobody knew anything. So I was waiting for word to see what's happening. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, while I was in shul, and like everybody, and waiting, my grandchildren, my children waiting to dance with the Torah, with the Simchas Torah, with the, I should pick them up like every other Jewish family, like everyone else. And I receive a phone call from the police official that called me. Yossi, get into your car, load up your car with the most body bags you can, and just come over to Sderot. I started to go down to Sderot, and on the way, unfortunately, there was a lot of bodies on the road that I had to maneuver my car. There was soldiers all around, shooting with terrorists, and there was a terrorist coming from Zikim, Yad Mordechai, and I had to go out from my car and shoot, and also I had some gunfire with them, and Baruch Hashem, nothing happened to me, and I arrived to Sderot by, I would say, about 10 to 11 in the morning, 10:50. When I arrived to Sderot, then the first thing that we start, I was there with 2 other volunteers that I picked them up from Ashdod, and we started to save some people, starting to look for people that are still alive, and we found a couple of people that were still alive. We did the
Wow.
first aid. We all EMTs, we know, and we stopped the blood. We made sure that they, and I took him into my car, And the heartbreaking part was when we found the car where the mother and father was killed, was shot, and then all of a sudden we want to go from that car. We hear a small child is crying. She was lying under the seat, hiding herself, and she was hiding for 3 hours, for
Oh,
4 hours.
oh my
And when
word.
she heard us coming in, so she started to cry and asking if we are Jewish.
Mm.
And then we took her out. We gave her over to the police, and we went further to. We fought with terrorists.
Sorry,
They
we
were all
can't hear you.
over terrorists, as I say, all over.
Yeah.
And and then we went to start the bodies to collect the bodies. Uh, and it's not the first time we collect the bodies, but not in that quantity. We're talking about 50, 60 bodies. We had a problem where to store them, so I had to break into a truck that was parked, just broke the lock, and this was our storage house for the storage room for the bodies. Then we went out to the road where there's, I would say, over 150 bodies
Wow.
were shot. They were trying that they ran away from the festival, and
Mm.
they were shot in the car. They were burned. Then we went on to the festival. Well, in 3.5 hours, we picked up. We made sure that 207 victims of our brothers and sisters should get their respect because we had a frame time. We didn't have any time. The army didn't want to give us any time to to work over there because it was a big danger,
Mm-hmm.
and and uh, and we had to do it fast. So we did. We collected 207 bodies within 3.5 hours. And the next stop was in Kibbutz Be'eri, where I am right now. I can show you. I'm right now by this house. This is the house of Tessie. It's called, where they had a hostage issue over here. They brought from other places 15 people, and there was fighting. Unfortunately, 14 of them were killed in this house, slaughtered and murdered. Children, most of them were children. Okay, you see, Mishpachat Chetzroni.
Mm-hmm.
This is the house that that we had. There was 14 people killed and slaughtered in this house, and this is now what we work, and we cleaning up the blood, and we making sure to there's still unidentified bodies, and we trying to to get to get any marks, anything that could identify bodies, if even though from ashes. And on this place, we identified 2 weeks ago, we found a small bone, a piece of bone from a
Mm-hmm.
body that belonged to a girl, a 10-year-old girl, that she was burned, and nothing was left over, only that bone. So when we're talking over here of a massacre of something, it's even worse than the Holocaust. And
Mm.
that's not only me saying I wasn't by the Holocaust, but what people are telling me. And when I met people that Holocaust survivors, they would say yes. Um, this is worse what we saw. As we're going, you can see it's one of the Sefer HaChag VaMoed. It's a book that's on for the Yom Tovim. It's right. That was most probably sitting outside and reading this book, and while it was Chag, and that has everything for Yontif.
Mm.
Um,
Yossi, how many volunteers are involved or have been involved with since Simchas Torah with the work that you're doing?
okay, direct involved on the scene, I would say over 800. But there's others that is volunteers that's preparing the food for the volunteers. They're also volunteers. So I would say about 1,200 volunteers are involved, and some of them lost their jobs because they were here, and a lot of them they need special treatments. This is our main issue now, is how to get back those volunteers to their to the house to raise the children
Mm.
and to have a happy family.
Well, that was my next and final question: is what support are you able and giving them so that they will be able to move, live a normal life with their families after this trauma?
So yes, we have. It's called the Coalition for Trauma.
Okay.
It's a special. They give us. We signed a contract with them, and every volunteer has. Every volunteer has 12 sessions to meet. Minimum 12 sessions. If he needs more, he's gonna get more to follow up and to get a treatment and psychological treatment. And we take them out. If it's a family, if we see the family that has some issues, then we will help them and we'll try to help them the most we can. It is a problem, it is an issue, but we are strong, and because of we have the support from the world, support from our friends, from our nation. We are we're gonna live it through. We're gonna make it, and Am Yisrael Chai.
Yossi, thank you so much for sharing some precious time with us and in London. And also, I know it sounds small, but we want to say a tremendous thank you and our debt of gratitude to you on behalf of all the volunteers for their selfless dedication. If anyone is interested in contacting Zaka on wanting to contribute, will you be able to share a link, or is there a way they can reach your organization and to be able to be a part of this important work?
Yes, I will send you. I will send you the link, and I will send you the link, and that's going to be very helpful. And I can tell you that it's going straight and direct to the volunteers for Shabbos meals. There's families that don't have even Shabbos meals. They don't have food in the house. We buying for those families. We giving out for our volunteers vouchers from supermarket to buy food and clothing.
It's unbelievable the scale of the devastation and the work that you are still doing. And am I right in saying that your volunteers are still working, still recovering?
Yes, we are.
It's unbelievable. Yossi, we wish you, please God, you and your organization should be out of business. You should be busy with simchas and with joyous occasions. And we wish you bracha v'atzlocha in all your incredible work. Thank you so much, Yossi. And I look forward to sharing the link.
Thank you, and have a good Shabbos.
All the best. Shka Shabbos. Take care. I found that absolutely humbling to have listened to Yossi and to have learnt firsthand where he is standing on Kfar Be'eri, on the very site where so many were massacred, learning firsthand about his extraordinary work of Zaka, selfless dedication and devotion, As we heard, many of them have lost their jobs because they've been away from work for so long. And let us hope and pray that they are successful and that those families and those volunteers are rehabilitated. We're going to end this interview here.